I had grown up around dairy. I'd worked for a dairy farmer. However, I did not grow up on a dairy farm, so it was definitely a conscious decision to become involved in the dairy business.
It was a lot of hard work. We often say if we would have known how little we knew about dairy farming, we probably would have never done it. But we survived and we're here 14 years later. And we have 3 children and they're loving it, growing up on the farm too.
Currently, we're milking 450 cows here and 3 times a day.
My dad had a vision and a dream to be able to direct sell our products that we raise on the farm, whether it's milk, beef, sweet corn, etc. And with that in mind, we dialogued and decided to start a partnership, process our own milk, and start selling directly to the consumer. It was very popular immediately. It took off quite well with our milk, meat, and also hand-dipped ice cream.
Oregon Dairy Incorporated, the grocery store and restaurant, they purchase milk from us. They have a processing room where they pasteurize it and homogenize it, and then the milk is sold at the grocery store with Oregon Dairy's label on it. They only get a portion of our milk. The rest of our milk we ship to DFA, which is a milk cooperative, just like most dairy farmers retail their milk, sell their milk is through a cooperative.
Of course, then they like to come out here to the playground area and the ice cream shop and to be able to enjoy the animals that we have here and some of the playground, etc. For the restaurant, they like the good service we provide. Also, it's kind of a comfort food, if you will, high quality food that's very reasonable price.
We work a lot with the public here. Our farm is a very open farm. We host school tours throughout the year. About 2,000 students come through in a year's time to learn about what we do on the dairy farm, how we care for the cows. And then we also host an event called Family Farm Days in June, and that is a free event to the public, and normally between 12 to 14,000 people come and tour the farm.
We set up some tents and have different ag vendors here helping us. It's not just us on the farm. We give away free milk and ice cream and give them a tour of the farm, and we get real positive feedback from that.
Everybody is so removed from the farm nowadays that they don't understand how their food is produced. So it also feels good though, because you can educate them and help them to understand that. It's a huge experience for them, and I think it's an experience that sticks with them when they get on the farm and see it for themselves.
We've actually just fairly recently become beef quality certified, but we've been becoming more and more aware of it over the last number of years and continue to make changes in our practices to produce the best quality beef that we can, because when a cow is no longer able to produce milk, she then enters the food chain as beef.
As a dairy producer, I never thought a whole lot about my call cow becoming the beef that I eat tonight on my dinner table until the last several years and things. Tim has served on the Pennsylvania Beef Council board, so he's become very in tune with it all. And just to change the mindset that we need to be thinking about our cows when they're on my dinner table compared to just the milk that I drink.
Well, in Pennsylvania, about half of the beef that's produced actually comes from dairy cows. So in Pennsylvania in particular, we definitely are a very important part of the beef industry. We're working to improve the perception of dairy beef and try to improve the quality of that to produce a good quality beef product.
Obviously, if you feed cattle, you get manure, and so we use the manure as fertilizer. But before we use it as fertilizer, we make our own electricity. It goes through a methane digester. We collect all the manure from our milking cows and then store it in a tank for 21 days and heat it up to 100 degrees, and that gives off methane gas. And then we use the gas to turn an engine generator set and makes roughly 120 kWs an hour, which is enough to supply the farm, and then some to the retail store right beside us, located on the same premises basically. A positive side effect besides making our own electricity, it also cuts back on the odor substantially. All our stable manure goes up to our compost facility, which is adjacent just on the other side of our farm. The compost itself, the finished product, is basically odorless. There is a little bit of smell as we are turning the rows or aerating the rows 3 times a week, but that quickly dissipates.
We're very honored to win a National Dairy Beef Quality Award. It's not something that we ever really expected. We try to do a very good job here, but we know a lot of other people do too.
There are so many dairy farmers, other people in animal agriculture who are doing an excellent job. We happen this year to be the ones that are recognized for it.